a lot of you have tagged me to talk about this new pack in the shop, so let's make a rant video about rocks in NIKKE, or the actual name in-game, custom modules. Let's talk a little bit about why we are starving for rocks and how ShiftUp hopefully fixes it in the near future. They already said they plan on increasing the amount of rocks we get in Kraken, I believe they said, if I remember correctly. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe they already said that they were going to be fixing this in the future. Now, this future could be 6 months, could be 2 months, could be tomorrow, or this is ShiftUp, could be literally 3 years. Just like they have taken to release multiple game modes that they have been talking for years at this point, alright? So, that said, let's talk a little bit about the custom mode situation, why it is so bad, why this pack is trash, by the way, and then we'll go into everything else. As usual, hello there, welcome back to Rant Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and if $100 pack is too expensive for you, but you still want to get those 40 rocks, don't worry, you should be using today's sponsor, aka Top Up Life. Top Up Life is a platform that will allow you to get packs for cheaper in NIKKE and other gacha games as well. So I could be getting, for example, the $100 pack just for 68 euros instead, and just buy these 40 rocks, 20 pulls, the 10 good pulls, and the 8,000 gems. And this works for most packs and most skins in the game. Of course, they already have normal discounts in the website, but you should be using code coupon Sefhi for even a bigger discount on top of that. As usual, thank you to Top Up Life for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to support the channel, that is the best way of doing it right now. But enough shilling, let's actually go and talk about rocks in game, how the system is pretty bad right now, and also we have to acknowledge that this system right now it's a little bit better than what it used to be, alright? This system is actually a lot better than what it used to be. For those of you who don't remember, on the early days when we were farming rocks early on, it was on a special interception. It wasn't here on anomaly, right? We didn't have this. It was here and you were doing your anomaly every single day. Now the problem with anomaly is that in order for you to actually be getting these rocks, as you can see, the only way of getting rocks is if you were fully clearing anomaly interception. Special interception. And it was not guaranteed, it was an 85% chance. You might think an 85% chance is a lot until you start doing that boss every week and you get 1 rock a week, maybe 2. On a good week, you might be getting 3-4 rocks. So as you can imagine, that was absolutely fucking trash. Now, they did improve this system by making anomaly interception. Anomaly interception allows you to target farm specific pieces of gear, so your boots, your chest, your gloves, and your helmet, but you can also go into Kraken and farm for rocks specifically. Now, this went from getting, again, 0 to maybe a few rocks a week if you were lucky on the normal interception, to now getting at least, usually, right, and this is a big if and a big usually, 10 to 40 rocks a week. You could be getting a little bit more if you are lucky, and it depends on Fullburst weekend, but let's say it's 10 to 40 rocks a week. It's still not amazing because, again, you can be on the lower end and getting completely shafted. But at least it's usually 10 to 40 rocks a week, which is a lot better. You might be thinking, okay, 10 to 40 rocks is pretty good. It's pretty good if we were not getting a new banner every week. Now, I know what you might be thinking now. Sefhi, you don't have to build every character. Why would I play a waifu collector? I cannot play with my waifus. I understand for some of you, you only care about like the new story and the new events, and that's fine. But if I'm playing a game with 400 characters, like it's gonna be NIKKE in a few years, I wanna be able to use them. Again, I know this might be a hard concept, but I like using the characters in the game that I've been grinding and paying for, okay? I like using them, And even whales cannot keep up with the rock income. So this is not about how much you are spending, right? It's not. This is literally pure RNG and really bad systems overall. So that's it. Not only that is a big issue, like how many rocks we are getting every week, also how many characters we are getting, because let's face it, we are getting more and more characters, and maybe this absolute event, it's an anomaly and we are not going to be getting any more triple banners. But then again, this is ShiftUp. We never really know what they want to do. And it's also about how you use these rocks, because let's say you only want to get your characters overloaded and you don't get what you don't care what the stats you get, right? For example, back in the day when I did overload my Senti, I didn't care about her stats. Whatever I got, which they are not awful but not good stats, as you can see a difference right there. The biggest issue is getting decent lines. I'm not talking about perfect lines. I'm not talking about black lines. I'm not talking even about blue lines. I'm just talking about getting actual good stats. NIKKE is a game where the gearing system has a lot of useless lines. and you might saw this already earlier, but as you can see right here, most of the lines here are either depending on your character and what type of weapon they have, or altogether useless. So let's start. Defense, absolutely useless. The only use for this is PvP if you were to care about that, and even in PvP you would still carry more for other lines. You also have hit rate, which is absolutely conditional. Some weapons don't benefit from this, some weapons really like this. The weapons that like this overall are assault rifles, shotguns, and your SMGs. The rest of the weapons you don't really care about hit rate. Charge damage, charge speed. If you are not using a rocket launcher or a sniper, useless. Absolutely, because those other weapons cannot benefit from charging, right? They are not charging anything. Then you have elemental, attack, and max ammo, which are usually universal good lines unless your character specifically does not want max ammo. And then you have crit rate and crit damage, which nowadays is getting a little bit more of usage, but even then NIKKE is still a gacha where crit rate and crit damage is not king. Okay, it's not stats that you actually are looking for as your main stats. It's still your elemental and your attack. Those are just fillers. So a lot of these stats are just dead weight, and you have to reroll a lot in order to be getting decent stats. Not only just getting decent stats, but actually getting them on the proper lines that you are looking for. Let's say I have my Ewa, right, the new character, and I want to be rerolling a piece for her. Because she has one that's decent, she has like two that's decent, and let's say I want to reroll either the chest or this one right here. Let's say I want to reroll the boots because it's max ammo, crit damage, charge damage. It's not awful, but I want elemental, right? I want elemental here with max ammo and something else. The problem is that if you reroll, there is no guaranteed chance at any given point you're getting what you're looking for. You could be using 100 rocks in here and never guarantee the specific line you are looking for. Of course, you will have to be super unlucky to not get it. Okay, let's not like pretend here it's impossible to get an elemental line. But there is no guarantees on anything. And the more you lock lines, if you get the line you're looking for and you lock that line, it means now it's more expensive to reroll. So even if you were getting 30, 40, 50 rocks a week on a good, again, you're not getting 50 rocks a week. I highly doubt there's anyone getting 50 rocks a week. If you are, fuck you. That's it, right? Even if you were to be getting 30, 40 rocks a week, the moment they release a character every week or every 2 weeks, you don't have time just to get basic stats. I'm not talking about min-maxing. I'm not talking about, again, getting perfect blue and black lines. I never do that. And even as someone who doesn't do that, who just likes getting their characters with a few good lines, I cannot do that. There is just not enough rocks. Now, they did say they wanted to improve the income of rocks at some point. I don't know when they're gonna be doing that because this is shift up. Sometimes they will take like a few months only to release new systems. Sometimes they will take years, just like Championship Arena, just like Surface Mode, etc, etc. My problem is when your players are clearly have been asking for this for months, and what you do instead of giving us more rocks, or this, for example, making full bursts a permanent thing every weekend, right? What a crazy concept that Fall Burst Weekend is a permanent thing instead of just when you want to make it an event. It's like, bro, just make that permanent, that already would help a lot. But instead of doing that, they just add a pack in the shop that offers you 40 rocks for $100. And again, the thing is that this pack is selling really well, okay? This pack is selling like pancakes because most spenders in the game are starving for rocks. They need way too many rocks in order to be building so many characters coming out. Also, if you are someone who cares about raids, you have to be building most of the characters coming out because the raids they are doing are specific to those characters. For example, Sis is like, oh, Sefhi, you just need fire characters. No, because you need fire characters doing actually true damage. And what characters are fire doing true damage? Oh, well, the new trio of characters. Did you build all 3 of them? Are you getting bestie with good lines ready for the raid? Right? So it's like, there is too many things going on for Shift Up to force you to build characters you cannot really afford. That said though, that's basically everything going on right now with the gearing system and why it is so bad, and no comments on this pack. 0 comments on this pack. I assume they will be adding a few more packs with the rocks, because again, if we talk about like the value of the rocks, right? You have $50, it gets you 5, but $100 gets you 40. Right now, there is absolutely no set value on how much a rock is, how many packs there are with rocks, and how often Shift Up will add those. It is what it is. Shift Up give us some extra resources to build the characters that you are giving us. I feel a lot of the resources in game have gotten better. For example, if we talk about dolls, a lot better. Early on, we didn't even have doll or materials. It's quite nice now. When it comes to treasure materials, it's still too much RNG. I will say the only change they need to make to this system right now is to allow us to exchange the materials from treasures we have not built. I have not built Viper, I have 200. I have not built Freema, I have almost 400. I don't plan on building her. Let me exchange this. Let me change this for anything else I'm looking for. I don't want to build her, right? So I will say like there is a few systems that they can make small changes just to make them better, but overall it has gotten way better than early on. It's just that the rocks specifically is still a system that there is way too much RNG on getting the rocks, on using the rocks, and on actually getting useful lines, because how useless most of the stats in this game are right now. That said, enough ranting about this, enough ranting about rocks. As usual, do let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. We are live every day, links in there as well. Thank you once again to Top Up Live for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.